All right, guys, we are here today. We got Tesla earnings coming out later on. Tesla at 229s, Nvidia at 97s, still under $100 a share. We have the nasdaq sitting at right around 18,000. Yeah, nasdaq's down. I think actually, wait a minute. It actually might be green on the day. I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, so nasdaq's actually green on the day. I was trading yesterday. Um, and yeah, doing pretty good, honestly, man. Yesterday we ended up making like total we made like 400. Honestly, dude, I've been in one of the longest green streaks I've ever had. Feels good, man. Yesterday was small, but let's get some music up for a second. Hold on. All right, so we got a couple things going on today, market-wise. Like, hold on, let me get some music going. Let me know if you can hear the music. You should be good. We did a poll. Do we cut rates before June? Is the question. Like, do we cut rates? Do we cut rates? Emergency cut, regular scheduled cut in May. 56% of people say yes. Out of some votes this morning. The news that's happening overnight is the president versus Jerome Powell, right? So the president has intensified his public criticism of Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, recently calling him all these names on social media, demanding immediate rate cuts. This pressure has kind of freaked the market out, to be honest. Like, it's kind of scared the market. People have concerns about the Federal Reserve's independence from political interference and influence. Major indices dropped yesterday. NASDAQ, Dow, SPY, Q, S&P, whatever you want to look at. It's mostly down. The dollar fell to 3-year lows against other currencies. People are worried that Powell's going to get fired, basically. Legally, Chairman Powell can only be removed for cause before their term ends. Powell's term runs until next year in May, so about a year from now is when his term ends. Any attempt to remove him earlier than that would likely be legally challenging, to be honest. But they could try. They could try to do it, in all honesty. Currently, the Fed's been pausing rates at 4.25 to 4.5 since its last cuts in late last year. We cut rates about a full percentage points last year. Inflation is the reason they haven't cut it more, I think. And then in terms of stocks, we have Tesla earnings today. Tesla earnings expected to show up at 229 a share. 229 a share. Yeah, gold been breaking all-time highs in the turmoil of everything. Gold hit $3,500 yesterday. $3,500. It's honestly pushing towards $4,000, which is crazy for gold. Ooh, get something in my eye. But yeah, gold has been pushing up close to 4K. Honestly, it's at $3,500, which is kind of crazy. What's up, Beach Bum? Do you not hear the music? Let me know if that's better. What's up, Ricky, Pascal, Krish, Anthony, Beach Bum, Curtis, Joseph, Discipline, Ray, TG, Lorenzo, Z, Dub. What's up, guys? Again, we also had some news that said the Premier Li Qiang in China sent a letter to Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba calling for coordinated response for U.S. tariff measures, according to Kyoto. We had some earnings come out today. We had RTX earnings drop. RTX ended up posting 147 versus 136, revenue of 20.3 versus 19.7 expected. They did do some guidance numbers at 615 versus 610, sales at 83 billion versus 84 billion expected. Fed watch tool. Yeah, so yesterday the Fed watch tool had the same thing. So yeah, the Fed thinks that the first rate cut is going to be by June. It's either going to be on or before June. And I don't know. I don't know if it could always change, right? Especially next week. Like this week's kind of slow. Like we don't really have a lot of stuff going on this week. It's kind of boring. But next week we got a whole gang of reports. Some things we do have today is we have Patrick Harker speaking at 9:30 at the opening bell this morning. Patrick Harker, one of the Fed presidents, specifically the Philly Fed president, Patrick Harker, speaking at 9:30 this morning. We got Neil Kashkari speaking later on today at 2 o'clock. Again, we got Tesla earnings today that obviously we're going to stream like we always do. We got the NASDAQ bouncing up a little bit. NASDAQ at 18,000 here. And I'm going to pull my charts up and start drawing some levels, I think, on these charts. Because, you know, we did really well yesterday. My trading has just gone very good, honestly. I'm not even trying to, like, brag too much, but my trading has been very good. We've been trading micros, and I think there's a safe way to trade micros. I'm going to try shorting this right here. I just want to see if we get some pressure. We got the 200 exponential. We got a couple other levels right here. I want to build up a cushion on this account first. Risk level is going to be about 85, I think. But if we can get a small green in, cool. We'll add to it. There we go. Take half off there. Lock that in. We could probably hold the rest kind of break even. We already took some good profit on this. Use this level as a resistance level now. It's a quick rebound back up. Honestly, it's looking not as good for me here. I'll try shorting it one more time really quickly here, but we got to be prepared to cut it if it doesn't reject at the 200 EMA that we want it to reject at. The only reason we're doing this is because we already had a cushion built into this thing already. So we can see if we get a retracement down. There we go, it's better. I took half of this off, to be honest, already. Just because I can. It'll limit my risk in the trade. There we go. We're still green, honestly, on this thing, and I could probably like wait and see if we can add some more. The goal is to add more to it once we get some like favorable price action. I could at this point get out break even now and still be technically green, even though it's like a very small trade, and really give it time to maybe break down here is what I want to see. There we go. Small green. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I gotta cut it. All right, so we ended up green on this trade. We ended up making a very small amount, but green nonetheless. I could have held it too, which is kind of what I'm realizing now. But honestly, with micros, it's a powerful system. Like you can build up small size, slowly add to it. Yeah, Powell and the FOMC, you know, they do not like each other. Do you see the FOMC raising rates? No, I don't personally see it. Not unless we get inflation spiking. We get inflation spiking maybe, but... see, I wanted to hold this too, guys. I really do. I could add back to it, but you know, I think we got this big level down here, this 18,000 level right here. That's a big spot, a big level. Yeah, we got the University of Michigan consumer sentiment yesterday. It looks like me cutting it there was the right decision. Very small, but we figure out what we want to do now. All right, so Tesla. So Troy Teslike unveiled his first quarter projections for Tesla, offering a broadly mixed outlook on the company's performance relative to Wall Street expectations. Teslike, who reports self-verified error rate of just 1.4% on Tesla production and 3% on deliveries, expects the EV maker to post a $19.21 billion in first quarter, a 10% year-over-year drop, 25% decline from previous quarter, and below the $20 billion consensus estimate. Sharpest decline in projected in Tesla's core automotive sales and leasing segment, with revenue estimated at $13.4 billion, down 30% from the fourth quarter of 24 and 21% year over year. Regulatory credit revenue is forecast at $564 million, making an 18% sequential decline, but a 27% increase from last year. Service revenue, by contrast, is down just 2% year over year. Energy generation and storage division is expected to be a bright spot, projected at $3+ billion, up 84% year over year. However, this falls short of consensus estimates. They think 38-cent EPS is what we're going to show. That's right around what the analysts are expecting for Tesla. They're expecting like 35 cents I'm showing, but Peloton, I'm not really a big fan of Peloton, to be honest. I think Peloton, you know, they create virtual reality bicycles. And I think that was big in 2020. It's not really going to be as big anymore, personally, is what I think. Yeah. Yeah, we got the University of Michigan. We got Lockheed Martin impacts as well. They said evolving tariff impacts affecting them. You can see some of their numbers right there. Yeah, so people are pushing, you know, obviously the president's been pushing for early cuts. The 10-year Treasury bond is at, what, 4.4% this morning, 4.4%. 2-year bond is at 3.79%. Currently still about 90% chance likelihood that we're going to pause in May. Yeah, all good, Justin. No worries, bro. I'm joking too. I mean, I'm not joking about what I think about Peloton, but you know me, I freaking hate Peloton, bro. I don't hate them, I just don't trust the company. I think the problem is, I'm going to short this little pop here too and see if we start to flush down towards lows. I want to build up a cushion. See if we can add some on a dip. But yeah, I don't trust Peloton. I don't trust Peloton because they created a virtual reality rowing machine, and I think they're trying too hard to expand, and they're not really thinking about it like they should be. You know. Should we try adding to this? No, I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and cut that with a very small gain there. I could have probably held it, but a lot of the time what happens is we'll retrace these up wicks. So we'll have like a big up wick here, and we'll actually retrace it on the upside, kind of fake everybody out. And so I don't want to get stuck in that. So I'll just take it. Although I do think this level is a good resistance, and I think we have the 200 exponential right here. So it's looking a little weak. maybe I'm gonna regret selling or getting out there. Because I think this looks red. Let's be honest, I think it looks red. Gold, yeah, gold is at all-time highs. Bond yields have been spiking up a little bit, which is weird, you know. Nvidia under $100, not looking good there. We got Tesla earnings today, Google earnings Thursday. I want to short this again. Kind of. Alright, I'll try. Like, the point is, this is like a little fishing trade, meaning, like, I can take a little small position here. If it ends up breaking down and getting close to this low right here, then I can add to it and have a much larger green trade. If it doesn't and it just goes up against me, then I can kind of get out and, you know, as long as I have pretty decent accuracy in this type of trade, it usually will treat me pretty well. I'm just trying to find one that will break down enough for me to add to it. And I'm not really getting it. We're really rangy. There we go. All right, so we can add to that. So we just added some to this. Let's see if we can break down some more. Try to be a little bit more patient now. There we go. We'll take half off of there. The goal early is to build up a small cushion. See, now we have a $20 cushion, $30 cushion that we could let work. I could let it break down more, which it's now doing. Good. Hold the rest break even maybe or something. I'm gonna have to start increasing some size here though, to be honest. There we go, nice. Look at this flush. I'm gonna go ahead and get out there. Riding it down some. Where's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin's still over 87,000. Yeah, Bitcoin at 88, almost 89,000. Bitcoin's pushing up. It's getting close to 90s. And I think 90 is the big milestone level that you probably want to watch. 90 is the big milestone level that makes sense to me. No, I don't have T-gram. Yeah, Bitcoin getting really close, really close. Yeah, we're retracing a little bit now. We're right at these lows too. I mean, obviously it looks weak on the NASDAQ here, but I think 18,000 is the big level you probably want to watch. Like, remember, 18,000 is such a big milestone level that, yeah, it's probably the level you want to pay attention to. Bro, I don't have red hair, bro. My hair is not red. I don't know why it looks red. Maybe it's the brightness that I put on. Hold on, let me see. My hair is brown. It's not red. Maybe I could... Maybe I got the contrast turned too high up. It looks... Like, it's kind of like dirty blonde almost, but it's not really red. Everybody thinks my hair is freaking red. Hey, look, here's me. Maybe it's the green screen in the background doing it. I don't freaking know, man. I'm not a redhead. How dare you insinuate that I'm a redhead? I mean, it's plausible that I've got some Irish in me. My last name is London, London. So I probably got at least a little bit of Irish in me for sure. But I'm just saying, my hair's not red. Definitely not red. I'm gonna have to turn this down. I'm not hating on redheads. I just don't have red hair, you know. What's up, Harris? What's up, dude? What's up, Bear? Now, my beard is different. My beard has a little bit of red in it, for sure. But it's not a lot. It's not like my whole beard is red. It's more so like little slivers of my beard have red hair in it, but that's it. What are the chances Tesla announces a stock buyback? They might. We'll see. All right, so now we're at the bottom of this range here. All right, so retesting this low. Is this the low of the day? No. So this is the low of the morning, though. Last time we were over this, it was at like 1 a.m. when we did some type of big run. All right, so we're testing the low of the last few hours right here, which is at about 1850. 1850 is the low of the last few hours. John, you're no longer a beginner. Far from it. Would you recommend trading with your own capital? Well, it depends on what stage you're at, to be honest. Yeah, TLT pushing up, which means yields are down today, which is good. That's what you want. You want yields to decrease. That means rate cut expectations are decreasing, so or increasing. Rate cut sentiment is more dovish, is what it means. If bond prices are going up, the underlying yields are going down. That means, and TLT has been spiking up most of the morning, which means yields are going to open up maybe lower. Let me see what 10-year yields are at. All right, yields currently at 4.39%, so they are down a little bit. Previously they were 4.405%, so over 4.5, over 4.4. So yeah, they're down some, which is good. Which is good. John, are you playing poker? No. I don't play poker on stream anymore, to be honest. Like, the reason I stopped playing poker is because I still play poker. I don't play while I'm trading. I focus on trading because, honestly, my trading has been very good. Very good lately. I'm not bragging. I'm honestly excited. My trading has been very good. Like, since I've changed, what I did is I changed my system. I was explaining it on Top Step TV yesterday. And, like, we did great on Top Step TV. We made, like, a couple $100 yesterday. We made, like, $300 as a whole yesterday, which is a pretty big day for me, right? And what I changed about my system is how I approach different things, right? So I attack levels specifically. I use a mix of the 200 exponential. I use support and resistance levels, and I try to build milestone levels around where the recent price action is. And so honestly, I got to draw some levels this morning. But what I try to do is I try to make some levels here that have multiple confirmations. Like, I think honestly, the one here is probably 55. Right around here. You could also probably make it 57 or 60. It might be also where this level is. So I'll call it 60. And you can see we have one at 80. Really could, we have one at maybe 75. But we try to build milestone levels to watch, right? And then we base our trades around these levels, and we attack trends, we attack momentum. And again, like, we have had, if we end green today, which we're currently green, like, look, just to show you the stats here. We can show you all that. Here's my daily account balance. I'll show you all the different stats that we currently have. Here's my daily account balance. We haven't lost very much at all. Here is my P&L. Like, even the month, we're doing pretty good. Like, we haven't had a losing day in April at all. At all. And really, we're getting ready to withdraw some money, but we're doing pretty good. So if I focus too much on poker, like, something that poker, I would say, is even more variance heavy than trading. It can be. And so I don't need variance coming from multiple different ways. I don't need poker variance and trading variance to be hitting me at the same time. I guess the easiest way to put it is I don't want tilt from poker to affect my trading. And that's definitely possible if I'm trying to play poker while I'm trading. It's very possible. You know what I mean? So I just try to take it easy, focus on trading, focus on market news, stuff like that. And I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a Japan deal is looking very likely. All right, Goldman Sachs said trade policy has changed uncertainty in markets, is what they're saying. Yeah, that poker tilt is no joke, bro. You can have pocket aces and get beat by 3-7 and then go on a freaking bender of tilt and destroy your account. It happens. It really does. So in trading, you do the same thing, but like, for me, trading's easier to control than poker. I think I'm good at poker too. I'm a tourney poker player though. I'm not a cash game poker player. And so if I sit down at a cash game in poker, honestly, it's weird, right? Like, I think I'm so used to playing online. Anytime I've gone to the casino and played poker sitting down, I've made money. Literally any freaking time I've gone to the casino sitting down and playing poker, I've made money. And yeah, and so live poker, I don't think I've ever sat down and not made money playing. Online poker's wildly different story. And so, and again, I don't really have the places to go to play live poker, so What do you base these milestone zones on? Well, it's a mix of like confirmed support or resistance, like hold numbers, milestone numbers. An example of this would be like 18,000. Like, here's 18K. That's a pretty big milestone level. Like, if you look at the price action yesterday, here's probably the easiest way to put it. right? So you look at the price action yesterday on the 21st, right? Like here's basically all day yesterday. And what happened is we broke under 18,000. So there's a very distinct 18,000 level, which is right here. Here's 18K. We break under that, a lot of people are paying attention. You know, so we break under 18,000. A lot of people are paying attention. I think it's very hard for most people to short. You can see it even holds as resistance. And so we attack these levels based off of important levels that we think other people are watching. And we build these levels in a lot of different ways, to be honest. Like an example is we'll use like 50, 25, 75, $1. So we use $quarter levels a lot. We give a little bit more weight to just straight up whole dollar levels like 18,000, 17,000, 16,000, you know, 1750, 17.5, 18.5, like major milestone levels like that we pay attention to, as well as like highs of the day, lows of the day, the high of the last few hours. One of the things we pay attention to a lot is isolated. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's isolated levels. So an example of an isolated level would be this area right here on the chart. Like, look how isolated this level is away. It's very clear, right? And it's all self-fulfilling. So like technicals are all self-fulfilling. And so the more obvious the level is, the more people are paying attention to it. The more eyes that are going to be on that specific level, and the easier it is to kind of attack it in a lot of different ways. And so an example of this is like, if we start to get close to this level here, we can take a long right here and ride it up to let it test that level and then hold it break even. So if it breaks down, we'll just cut it. But if it continues to rise, we'll have like a much larger trade as an example of one. And so we're using like the most edge that we can, meaning we take small size. If it goes in our favor, or if we get to a position where we can hold it break even, we do. So I hope all that makes sense. Like we take $50 profit and we think it's going to continue breaking down, we can give it a $50 risk, and that way if we lose, we're break even. It's not the end of the world. Like we can just kind of rinse and repeat and wait until we have that big edge again and get ourselves into good spots. What are you talking about, live? Well, I mean, I'm in Texas, and the closest real casino to me is in Lake Charles, which is like 2.5 hours away. And I make enough money not playing poker than to subject my family to driving almost 3 hours away to sit down and play poker for an hour. You know, it's just not feasible for me. If I lived next to one, it'd be different, but I just don't. Because nothing says freedom like Texas, you know, who doesn't have ballot initiatives. Casinos aren't allowed. You know, freedom, guys. Just a stereotype. Yeah, so look at the range, honestly. And remember, we drew this level well before we tested it just now. So, like, look at this level here. And this is my point. These are the levels that we play off of. We attack ranges. It's just working really well, really well. You got a couple different stages. You got direction. All right, look at this breakdown here. Yeah, but even that's like miles. That's like hours of like north BT. So I'm good. I don't need to play that much. Yeah, I mean, I've never lost. And I think it's a mix of I'm not used to playing. I'm not actually used to sitting down and playing. And so I'll go there. And I'm not really used to, so look at the market just broke the 3 or 4 hour low here, guys. Let's break it down. Right? So look at the market crack these 3 or 4 hour lows. Still flushing, still breaking down here. And again, this is all on Top Step. And I think Top Step is a great way to learn because most day traders lose. And so if you put up your own money, you're probably going to lose. Let's just be real here. I lost when I first got started thousands of dollars. And so instead of giving all that money to the market for no reason, limit your risk. Try a funded account program. They give you a 50K demo, and they test your skill with that demo. If you could pass that test, they fund you 50K. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. The base one is $50 a month. It's not the end of the world. If you pass it, you get a 90% split. You got to make 3K in profit without losing 2,000 on the base one. 90% split, you get to keep your first 10K prior to that split kicking in. It's the best of both worlds. You got limited risk. If you fail, you're out $50 versus thousands of dollars in losses like most new traders end up facing. And then if you pass it, you get 90% split anyway. That's similar to funding your own account. The risk is much more easy to deal with. And I think that just makes sense. Top Step's paid out over $200 million, I think, since 2020. They fund thousands of traders. They do thousands of withdrawals. They're a great way to learn. And learning how to trade in a structured environment like that is absolutely key. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. And so again, if you want to check them out, here's the link. I'll pin the link to the top of the page as well, so you guys can check it out for the rest of the stream. Market's still testing these lows, but yeah, I think I go sit down, and I'm very new to live poker, and so I sit down and I start telling people, hey, I'm new. I like every time I've gone and played, I've sat down, I've told them I was new with live poker, but I've also told them that I've played thousands and thousands and thousands of hands in online poker. So I'm not new to poker. I know how to play. And for whatever reason, I think they just end up thinking I'm like fishy in poker. And so I end up playing a very tight strategy. They think I'm bluffing a lot, which I'm usually not. And I've also gotten very lucky. Like, I remember the last time I sat down was at Harris in New Orleans. And bro, I had like quad aces, I had full houses, I had all kind of crazy hands for some reason, and they thought I was lying. And so I kept betting big, and they kept calling me, and then I would show them, and that happened over and over again. And then I would just be like, all right, guys, I'm done, I'm leaving. I would only play for like 30 minutes before I'd get up and leave, hit and run. They would get kind of mad, and I would just be like, look, I'm not going to sit here giving y'all's money back. Like, I'm going to get out of here. And then I would just leave, and that was it. And I've done that maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, and that's it. Never lost doing it. Online poker, I've lost, though, for sure. All right, but yeah, Goldman Sachs says trade policy has changed uncertainty in markets. We've had some earnings come out today. Honestly, one of the things that you might want to pay attention to right now is that Japan and China look like they might start working together to counter some of the U.S. tariffs. And if they do, that's not good for us. Obviously, that's not good for the U.S. And I think that's what they're talking about right now, is that they might start working together. We got bond yields that are actually down a little bit overnight, showing a lower interest rate sentiment, which is good, I think. If people want rate cuts, I think it's good. We had a bunch of big earnings come out today. We got Tesla earnings coming out later, too, so even bigger thing today, bigger story. All right, so I don't want to short this. I think too many times these retests end up, I don't know. So look at this level here. And again, like, you can see one thing that I pay a lot of attention to when I'm building these levels is this right here, right? Like, even if we continue up like this, we still respect the level enough to tap it and then come back down. We still respect it enough to go like this. So what does that show me? It shows me that some people are still watching this level here, of course, this 1859. And it also shows me that the level I'm using is the correct one versus putting it down here or something like that. Us respecting that level at least a little bit shows me that it's the right level to keep on my chart. And again, even if we continue back up and start heading back up, it also might look like a trend here where we got like a trend like this. You know what I mean? Like this is possible as well, where we got like a little wedging trend. So you see that a lot also here. But I'm going to keep this on my charts because then something like this could happen where we go up and then we come back down and then we hold support at this level. And so, yeah. Which Fed speech is important? Well, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, we got, honestly, I mean, it depends on what you consider important. We got Harker speaking at 9:30. That's the one I'm paying attention to. You know, Neil Kashkari is usually, I would say Patrick Harker's a little bit more influential than the other two. Philly Fed president's a little bit more relevant, a little bit more influential, a little bit more watched, I would say. Not to knock on Tom Barkin or Neil Kashkari, but Harker's a little bit more weighted to markets. I don't know if any of them are really going to move markets, so they might not, you know. And again, it's a slow week. We don't really have much going on. Next week's freaking packed, though. And we got earnings this week. So we got Tesla, we got Google earnings this week that we're going to stream, of course. I just buy stocks. That's all I do. I'm not really mad at that strategy. You know, and again, in theory, the biggest statistical edge you'll ever see in markets, the biggest statistical edge markets give you. And so, again, we have this breakdown here. Look at this. So if we get a retracement back up, we'll short it again. Let's see if we get it. We need a retracement back up, though. I do not want, like, another green candle that shows up and just rips. So we need a retracement. If not, we're just not going to take it. All right, there we go. All right, we'll take one, and we'll add to this maybe up to this level. Hopefully we won't need to, but we've got a cushion on the day. We can play with it a little bit more. There we go. All right, so we just added to it. There we go. We took half off, locked it in, small. The job is to build up a cushion of like $50 to $100 so we can take larger size if we want to. And we'll hold the rest break even now. So again, we got ourselves in a break even scenario where if it goes up against me, we can get out pretty close to break even if we need to and not worry about it. Which we're about to, it looks like. We'll let it test this spot. All right, so look, it tested that level again. We get over this spot, though, we got to cut it basically flat. Okay. Okay. I don't like that at all. I'm just going to get out. So we got out completely break-even traded. It might have faked us out here too. But I just don't like that. We're going to get out flat. And again, we got out exactly break-even on that trade, which is nice. Yeah, no, exactly, Pawn. 2 micros is basically all I trade. It's so nice to do it, to be honest. It's so nice. All right, so the ECB's Casimir says that the June decision will depend on the data and forecast and risk to the outlook. Rates are now within the target range or neutral range. And yeah, so there's again, this last trade was a really good example of how I try to get maximum edge. And so what happened is we were testing this level here. We ended up breaking down. Our entry was about right here. And so we have a situation once we break down where if we move back up, we can get out break even. It's a risk-free trade in that situation, right? So a risk-free trade. And so if it moves up against us, we just get out. It's flat. It's even. We don't lose anything. And we can just find another system or strategy. And that way, it's a lot better. And if it does continue breaking down, we got a really nice green trade. And so in one situation, we're flat. The other situation, we're green. And that's the ideal situation in trading. And those are the type of situations you want to get into. And that's kind of what we've been trying to do with this system, is just build those type of situations up. It's easier said than done, though, to be honest. But Yeah, I mean, I think the market wants rate cuts, though. You know, I think the market wants rate cuts. The market fears of an incoming recession or depression, and so they want rate cuts. They've wanted rate cuts for a while. All right, so let's see what happens at this level now. I'm curious to see what the price action looks like. So remember, we got this level on our chart. We left it on our chart because the market respects it to a certain extent, and look at that. Yeah, so I was curious. Look at that. And even if it doesn't hold here, it's still showing that the market watches this level. Yeah, we're mostly flat, I think. And see, look at this breakdown too here. Weird. Part of me wants to short again if we get a retracement up to there, though. I don't want it to hold support here, but I don't want to miss out on the boat either, which looks like I'm going to. It's all right. We're not going to touch it right now. We're just going to wait. Yeah, I think, you know, we got Tesla earnings this week, today. And Tesla is an influential stock. Markets follow it. And so I think markets are going to be watching Tesla. They might be choppy today leading into Tesla earnings as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you guys fear. You know, if you guys fear... All right, so look at the breakdown happening. Wow. Yeah, another level I think I need to draw at this point is this level right here. We got the 50 level here too, to be honest. So we got this level right here that it's kind of testing right now. All right, so let's watch this 60 level again. Part of me wants to short, but I think short has been the trend. Ah, what a terrible fill here. We got a tight risk we could use. Let's just see if it chops back down. I want to see if we can get 50 here, but yeah, we got to cut it. So we lost a little bit. We're still great on the day, but the edge isn't really super high. We got maybe 70 up here too. We got the 200 exponential as well. Very flat action though. Yeah, market action is just not really good. Yeah, we'll see if the market crashes down. Who knows, man? Do you guys think we break a real question that I think is an important one is, do you guys think that we break 16.5s, which is really 16.460 is the low of this entire crash or correction in the market? Do you guys think we break that in the next month? Is a good question. Basically, does this crash continue down and continue breaking lows? No, rates were super high in the 70s, but that's a different time though, you know. Like, we're looking at how rates were in the last couple decades, and that's what people are using to gauge. That's what people are using to gauge things. which is a different thing. It's just a different thing, you know. All right, so here's at 1870s. We seem to be rejecting some here too. Well, I think if we don't get a deal done, it's looking rough. Look at this rejection at 870s. Again, we'll see if it holds. Volkswagen to debut AI-backed ADAS system at Volkswagen Night. All right, so the Japanese government is considering expanding tariff-free imports of U.S.-grown rice as part of negotiations over higher levies imposed by Washington, according to Nikkei, citing sources. Yeah, I mean, my hands are off trading right now. Once we start to go sideways and chop here, it's a lot harder to gauge what's going to happen, in all honesty. Yeah, gold has been breaking highs this morning. Got $3,500 at about 1 a.m. today. Watching Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, I think is an important one. Apple's pretty low volatility though, but we are watching it for sure. Yeah, I mean, again, I think these lows are important to watch. Like, look, so if we look at the NQ here, obviously, 16.5s is right. This is this yellow level, 16.460. That's a big spot. That's a big place. That's an important area in the chart. Because if we break underneath that, a lot of people are going to think the crash correction is continuing. A lot of people are going to consider the crash correction continuing if we break underneath this letter, and we're getting close, although like we dipped under 18k yesterday and then we came right back up. So like we dipped under 18k when was this? Yeah, yesterday we got all the way down to 17.7s yesterday. So we dipped under it, and now we're just kind of consolidating above 18, but I think 18 is a very big level. 18.25 I have on my chart, and I have 18 even. So I think those are all very big levels. Bull or bear day today? Put bull or bear in the chat. Let me know. Bull or bear? What do you guys think? So we did have RTX news. We had some other stuff come out too. All right, still heading up. Here's the 200 exponential at about 75. So we're all watching that spot too. Nvidia heading back up. I think we got to watch Apple here as well. Apple at like 195 or so. So Apple, that $200 level is kind of a big area that I want to pay attention to as well. Yeah, I mean, the biggest statistical edge. So I'm looking at everybody. Bull, bull, bear, 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 bull, bear, bull, bull, bear. Bull yesterday, bearish, bear, bull, bear. What's up, chef? Bull, bear. Dolphin? Yeah, I mean, guys, look. The biggest statistical edge is long-term investing. Like, the people who lose the most generally in these big corrections, crashes, are people who get emotional and sell at the bottom. People who make the most are generally people who either buy the dips or add into their positions on these dips. Although we might not get rebounds for years, right? Like, you never know. We might not get rebounds. We might be in a bear market for 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. That's possible. It's not like nothing's definitive in markets. There's always variance. But again, long term is the edge. Unless you're retiring imminently and you're investing in companies, you should be able to hold for years. If you're not able to hold for years, you probably shouldn't be investing anyway. It's more of like a swing trading situation, in my opinion. But if you're able to hold for years like you should be, you can either add to these pullbacks, you can either buy the dips. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not an investment professional, and we are not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Remember, I am terrible and have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Not an investment professional. Don't copy me. But yeah, I mean, long term's the edge. DCAing is your friend usually, but again, we might crash more tomorrow. You never know, you know. So high volume. So their platform is Top Step X. The new dashboard has the Top Step X built in. The dashboard that they're talking about is new, is not the platform. The platform and the dashboard are two different things. All right, guys, look at the market pushing up. Hit that 1880 level that we talked about. And let's see if we can get over it. So we did respect this level as well here that we got right here. Now, this is a strong move, but we're also at the top of the range here. So, but we start to head up. We are going to pivot from long to short, or from short to long sentiment. But I'll wait. I'll let it break over this first. It took the NASDAQ 15 years to recover from the 2000s crash. Yeah, but that's a little bit different of a thing here. So, like, if we look at the QQQ, the 2000s crash, we had the dot-com boom, got up to 120s, and then we immediately had the 2000, and we started to rebound back up, right? So we had the dot-com crash. It took us years to get back up there, but by the time we did, right, we hit the 2000s crash as well. So it did take 15 years, but that's because we got dot-com crash followed by mortgage disaster within a 10-year period. So basically we had two big economic scary things go on in finance within a 10-year period, within a decade. And so that kind of made the rebound a lot less. And again, it's possible we get something like that again. At the same time, though, like, the way I look at it is like this. We could get a long-term downtrend. With the advancements of technology that we are seeing, with the advancements of tech that we are seeing, I think it's less likely. But who knows, man? Again, we could downtrend for 15 years. You never freaking know. I certainly don't. We could certainly downtrend. But I think it's important to try to speculate on what happens here. I think with how powerful AI is, and with what AI growth is going to look like, we're going to be back. But who knows, man? Maybe not. You know, I think this crash is a little bit different than the crash that we got in 2000 as well. This crash is mostly tariff and economic policy related versus the dot-com crash, which was mostly the dot-com crash was mostly just hyper overextension in stocks. But again, anything could freaking happen. I don't know. I always try to make sure people understand nobody freaking knows what's going to happen. Whether we're going to go up, down, or sideways, nobody knows. So just be safe. Yeah, I don't think we're going to cut rates in May. I mean, we could. The interest rate sentiment overnight today is definitely lower, meaning bond yields, are they open yet? Bond yields should be opening up lower today whenever they open. Unless they've increased over the last few minutes here. Let me see. Okay, so never mind. I mean, they did open slightly lower, but not much. So bond yields at 4.4%. If we look at the interest rate sentiment on like the CME watch tool, it's still showing 90-10 likelihood of a rate cut in May. 90-10. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's important to just okay, there's only been 3 times. Here's what it is, right? There's only been like 2 or 3 times in history where we've had more than 2 years of negative downtrends in markets. There's only been like 3 times in history. But, and that's an important metric to understand. But those 3 times were very long downtrends. Very long downtrends. One was 1929. Taking a look at the actual charting here. Here's the S&P. Long-term chart. One was 1929. And we downtrended until 1932. And we didn't actually get above those highs until 1950s, it looks like. 32s. Yeah, until 1955. So, very long downtrend of 20 years, basically. 1929 to 1955. So, yeah. Very long downtrend. I wouldn't really call it a downtrend, but just the steep drops that we put in here took a long time to come back. And I think, like, the way you get around this is DCA. You DCA into this drop, you're going to be green by the time you hit here, most likely. Right? Most likely. But that could change. So I think DCAing is your friend. But yeah. The second time was... I'm trying to remember when the second time was. We had the 1929... Could be the 70s here. 73, 74, 75. Or no, this was less than 2. 22. 72 to 74. So that was less than 2. And Black Monday. Yeah. So there's only been 2 times really in history where we've downtrended for more than two years in a row. But the times that both happened were .com crash, 1929 stock market crash. So it doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, you can get really, really deep pullbacks. Again, the key, to be honest, is just to add, in my opinion. Like dollar cost average into that thing, man, and you will be good. I think within 5 years, you're gonna make money, even if we're not breaking the highs that we were once at. That's how you protect it. All right, bond yields are going down though. They're under 4.4%. And again, I'm not an investment professional. Do not copy me. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Market might crash 50% tomorrow. I have no freaking idea. Not an investment professional. But I do think, again, I'm going to say this again. I do think I think you have to consider how much AI is going to get better in the next 10 years. And what that's going to do to the market if AI continues to get better and better and better. You know? It should have a pretty easy time getting funding and you know, all that stuff. So, but again, you never freaking know. I'm not talking about Top Step. I'm talking about long-term dollar cost averaging stock investing. I'm not talking about day trading here. I'm talking about investing long term for years and years and years. Like an example of this is this. Okay. Let's show you a calculated example. All right, say you buy say you buy 100 shares at $50. It's easier to say you buy 100 shares at $50. And then it drops down to 30. And you buy another 100 shares. What's your average? Your average is 40 now. You know? And so even if it only rebounds half of the way back up, you're now break even. And that's the power of dollar cost averaging, is that you can average into positions long term and in terms of investing and curb some of the crazy corrections, volatility that you see. Obviously, this should be, if you invest, you should know what this is. Warren Buffett talks about it, and you know, the real issue, I think, is something else is a big issue, is that people end up fearing pullbacks so much that they miss out on the biggest statistical edge the market gives you. I think it's one of the reasons you get so many people in here like crying about market crashes every other day, telling people the market's going to crash tomorrow, and they've been saying this for years. Eventually we finally did crash, but it took 5-6 years. You know, and if you throw darts at a dartboard, eventually you're going to hit it, you know, but it doesn't mean you're accurate. And so I think people have to understand we're not going to crash every year. The biggest statistical edge is on the upside, and if you DCA long-term into your investments, you're probably going to be fine long-term. And again, I'm not talking about day trading. Day trading's different. All right, so look at this green action we're getting. So the market's starting to rebound back up a little bit in terms of day trading action here. I'm going to have to draw some new levels. I think we got to look at 1 right here. We'll just keep it like that. We'll just look at 1. Terrible song. Everybody wants to be Michael Burry. They want to predict the next big market crash. You know. And most of the time it's confirmation bias. It's like they should have invested 5 years ago. They didn't. And so they want to believe that they didn't. They didn't miss out on the big gains that everybody else is making, because they had some type of foresight, intuition, and saved us from a market crash, you know. And most of the time that's just not true, you know. Most of the time we're still above where they called the market crash when we actually do crash, you know. And so most of the time it's just not true. Yeah, Nvidia, $100 is what I'm looking at on Nvidia in terms of a level. $100, milestone level, relevant level. People tend to watch these big spots. $100. I'm looking at it. All right, so again, we're going to pivot to a long base strategy as well, unless we dip down under like the 200 EMA or 70 here, and then we'll go back short. But at this point, we're going to pivot to a long base strategy if we can get some momentum on the upside. I got to wait, though. I'm not really liking anything. We're green on the day. I mean, we made a little bit of money, but yeah, we do have Tesla earnings today. We'll see how they influence things, because that's a big report, you know. At the very least, it'll move things. Yeah, I mean, pizza, I think it's possible we do. I mean, you never want to go into something in investing in finance thinking something can't happen. It certainly can. Doesn't mean it will. Doesn't mean it's probable for it to happen, but it certainly could. And so I think you got to look at it like that, where it's probably not going to happen, but protect yourself in certain ways in which even if it does, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. And that's just about having good risk levels, you know, having ample bankroll that allows you to just kind of add to positions on the investing side. But again, everybody's different. Protect yourself in your own ways. Everybody's a little different. Nasdaq's pushing up though. Let's watch 18.1s. We also have a level right here, to be honest, at like 18.93s, 18.94s, but I'm looking at 18.1s. Yeah. Yeah, I think $100 on Nvidia. I think Nvidia under 100 is a scary Nvidia. But I also think the PE ratio is a little bit cheaper now too. All right, so look at us climb higher here. Again, I'm looking at 18.1s as my level, but who freaking knows what's going to happen to it. Alright guys, so we're starting to climb up. Look at this decrease here. I guess you could have a system in which you add to 18.8. But I'm trying to wait here. Alright, so we had Canadian peak producer prices. We don't really have any economic data coming out today at 8:30. It's pretty slow. Everything's been kind of boring. We got like Richmond manufacturing stuff. I guess because of the holiday week, they've kind of made it to where most of the economic data comes out next week. Thursday we got some stuff. Friday we got some stuff. We got like Michigan consumer data. All right, Nvidia looks like it wants to go higher too. Nvidia at 98.20s here. It's kind of trying to drag the market back up some. All right, so let's give a breakdown into everything going on in markets. All right, so we had the Philly Fed non-manufacturing business outlook survey at minus 42.7 versus minus 32.5 that just released. Again, minus 42.7 versus minus 32.5. All right, so we are breaking down a little bit. Do we want to buy this level here? I think we'll try. So we're going to go ahead and buy this. The market might be negatively reacting to this Philly Fed consumer survey, though, here. So we'll add to a little bit of it right here. See if we can pop back up. Kind of sketchy here, though. What kind of music is this right now? All right, we took half off. We got the little rebound back up. All right, we'll go ahead and cut that little baby trade. We got the rebound. We should have taken a larger size. I'm gonna have to scale up my size a little bit. Hold on, guys. Alright, I love you. Have a good day, guys. Hey, bro. How you doing, man? Love you, bud. Have a good day, dude. Love you guys. What's Tesla expected for earnings? Yeah, we had like Verizon. All right, so we did get our x.com post out here, guys. So we did get, I'm curious about buying this level again here. So look at this 81 level. And so we did get our x.com post out. So if you want to follow somebody that covers everything going on in markets that's big on their x.com page, here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here on this channel. There it is right there. Give me a follow. Hit the heart button on my posts. We appreciate it, guys. We appreciate it. Look at that bounce here, man. I should have maybe taken bigger size, but we did get the bounce idea. We're looking at 18 ones here, 18 ones. We at the very least got a little cushion on the day. I'll take that. And again, we did get the Philly Fed non-manufacturing business outlook survey that came in a little bit worse than expected. A little bit worse. I mean, it's a 10 or 11 tick bounce. It's not a bad. The thing is, it's a retracement quickly. I should have taken larger size, but it retraced back up, confirmed it. Now I don't know what it's gonna do. We got a level right here that we can look at too. At this point in time, we kind of confirm this. What is this? 95s, 94s. See if we got some confirmation at the spot, which I think we probably do here. Hold on. Put it like right there. I would trade micros, trade with friends, personally. I would trade micros. I think micros are easier to trade, easier to run with. So yeah, personally, I would trade micros. We're so close to 60,000 subs. So close. Or 160,000, that is. Don't go long on Tesla today. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think the E-mini or the micro E-mini or the micro NASDAQ is good? Oh, I didn't even see it. So you're talking about the micro E-mini or the micro NASDAQ? I like the micro NASDAQ because it gives you the volatility, the NQ, so you can actually get good moves from it and read it better. Versus, I read the NASDAQ much better than the E-mini, but it also is small and less risk usually. Versus the micro E-mini can be sometimes too small, I think. Sometimes too small. And so that's what I think it is. All right, so again, we're in this range. Here's the very obvious range that I see here. You know, up, down, up, down, up, down. Kind of in a neutral place. I mean, we made money on the day. We're green, but not a lot of green. We got a cushion into the opening bell, though, so that's nice. Tesla will miss, but pump too many shorts. Maybe. I don't know, bro. Yeah, Tesla's going to be interesting. Kinder Morgan files for a two-part 5-year and 10-year offering. They didn't disclose the size of it, though. Palantir's not good. Palantir's up a lot, isn't it, over the last few days? Right? PLTR? The 9260s. All right, guys, so we are rebounding back up a little bit, but I'm watching this 18.8 level that we had on our chart. Tesla reports after the closing bell. We'll be streaming the entire thing live, as we always do. We always cover Tesla earnings, so we'll be streaming it live like we do. Yep. All right, so look at this bounce here. Again, heading right back up. The range is still very small. I was talking to Dolby about that yesterday. The range is very small. So the Verizon CEO says postpaid phone net losses largely driven by elevated churn due to the recent price up and pressure from Fed government accounts. This feels like an incomplete sentence, no? To me, it feels kind of incomplete sentence-y, but hey. I have a feeling Tesla brand damage and EPS guidance will be weak. Definitely possible. Yeah, it's certainly possible. Look at the market push. So again, we get out to that close to that 18.1 level, which is right here. And then we have this level right here, which I think is interesting as well, like a shorter term resistance. But right at that 18.1 level, see what happens here. I tend to do better after the bell, so I'm going to wait and try to get into some full sentences overrated. I'm going to wait to try to get into some like strategies after the bell today in about 45 minutes. There's 18.1s. Over 18.1s, I'm going to have to maybe look for some other stuff here too, but honestly, maybe I'm too zoomed in. I like the levels I'm using here, but... still creeping back up. All right, so we hit 18.1s right here. I'm trying to see what blue chips are moving up. Palantir tapped 100, what, yesterday? Not quite. But it's at the 90s, which is good for Palantir, I think. Microsoft, AMD, Apple, Google, Meta. What am I forgetting here in blue chips that influence the market? I got Palantir, Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft. That's basically it. Netflix and Amazon are the only two that I don't think I have on there. Netflix is up, testing 1,000 again. Amazon had some type of AI announcement, right? So it's up on the day too. Still pushing here, guys. Still pushing. Look at this. And this is how I like to use the 200 exponential on a 1 minute chart as well. Like here's the 200 EMA right here. It's a really good sentiment gauge, right? Under 200 EMA, weaker downward pressure sentiment, bearish sentiment. Above the 200 exponential, stronger, like optimistic, bullish sentiment is how I use it a lot. What's your secret for making good levels on the NASDAQ? Well, I think I've told people this before. My levels are a mix of like confirmations, isolation, and quarter dollars. you know. So it's a mix of those three. I just kind of use those three, and I look at highs, lows, isolation, as well as half, whole dollars, quarter dollars, milestone areas. Amazon almost up to 170s. Is there Nvidia issues? Let's see. They say U.S. chip controls will benefit China's Nvidia rivals like Huawei per CNBC. Yeah, some Nvidia news came out. They came out like a couple minutes ago. So RTX CFO says potential tariff impact is likely in the second half of this year. And so again, we got some earnings calls going on, specifically RTX. We got Verizon. They expect to gain market share in prepaid sector this year in 2025. Again, we got Verizon CEO saying postpaid phone net losses largely driven by elevated churn due to the recent price ups and pressure from the Fed. In terms of Nvidia news, I'm trying to find stuff, but what is oil and copper pricing at? Oil is still at the 60s, right? So yeah, oil is all the way down to 63.30s. Apple's pushing up a little bit, so you can see it's at like 195. So I'm trying to look at large caps moving here. Palantir, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, all going up this morning. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia's still down a lot. I mean, it's under $100 a share. That's not a good area for Nvidia. The bullishness is in, though, this morning. Look at the bullishness continue. Bank of America lowered the price target on AMD from 105 to 110 and keeps a neutral rating on the shares. Following the effective shipment ban to China on April 15th, the firm's new base case assumptions for NVIDIA and AMD now exclude sales of the H2O and other products that now require licenses to ship overseas. The firm assumes in calendar year 26 a roughly 4 or 5% sales and EPS impact for NVIDIA and roughly 3 and 4% sales and EPS impact for AMD respectively. Look at this increase though, guys. Wow. Look at this rise. Something's going on. Look at that 115 stop. We tapped it. I'm not going to say it's the greatest level. I'm the greatest leveler of all time, but you know, Amazon pushed it up. It's almost at the 170s. Some type of strength's coming in. Ooh. Looks like we might rip past this level though. We'll see. Chevron CEO says reaction to trade issues has led to expectations of reduced oil demand, according to CNBC. Greatest leveler, top 3 levelers of levels of all time. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, so we did rip past that 115 level. Watch 125. And so like I said, sometimes we'll use $quarter levels. Here's 125. Let's see how well that holds. A lot of stuff's pushing up though, like Amazon up to 170s, Palantir almost to 93s right now, AMD up to 87s almost, Meta at 490s. And I hope you guys see, like, even though this level didn't hold, like, it respected it originally, and then it turned into a little bit of support here. It doesn't mean it's going to hold here, but, like, these are the type of things where you can get in, ride the back up, and then use it also as, like, a risk level, too. Let's watch that 125 level, though. I don't see any news that showed up. I see Chevron says reaction to trade issues has led to expectations of reduced oil demand, according to CNBC. Verizon expects to gain market share in prepaid. RTX CFO says tariff impact likely is going to be in the second half of this year in 2025. We got AMD Palantir. Palantir looks like it's pushing up more than any of them. Look at Palantir. I will be right back, guys. Right back. Okay, so I see some news showing up here. China foreign minister says China and European and EU should shoulder international responsibilities, jointly defend multilateral trading systems, and jointly build an open world economy. So we did go up to 125s. Watch Palantir, though. Again, Palantir pushing up a lot. Amazon pushing up a lot. Meta pushing up a lot. AMD is actually testing highs of the day and recently broke them. And then we go up to 125s and reject back down to 115s as we test it. So who's speaking at 8:30 recoil? Because I don't see anybody speaking. Let me see. You can always check the calendar. Yeah, but you got Jefferson, vice chair. He's going to be speaking at the Federal Reserve Bank of Philly Economic Mobility Summit in Philly, PA. That's about it, though. You got Kugler speaking on transmission of monetary policy at 6 o'clock this afternoon, but that's it. Philip Jefferson's not the biggest speech guy. He's not really, like, I don't know how much influence he's going to have on markets. I think he's kind of small. Harker speaks at 9:30. Or no. It's, let me see. Hold on. Yeah, Harker speaks at 9:30. So he's different. Harker might move things, but we'll see. Again, you don't ever know. None of them might move things at all, especially in the landscape of the current market where economic stuff like this is less weighted to markets, doesn't move it as much. All right, look at this big pop. Palantir still surging up. Amazon's still pushing up. As we get higher, if we get up to this level here, I might look at shorting stuff. But I gotta wait for it. Look at this push, breaking highs again. Palantir got up to 93s too. I'm gonna short this. I know it's kind of like counter trend. I think it's cheap, and I can use like this level up here as a risk level. I might actually add to this too. So then we'll add to this here. We got a nice little risk that we can use with a cushion on the day already. It's kind of counter trend though, so I got to be careful. Sheesh. Maybe it's not the time to go counter trend here. I'm going to cut this. I cut half of it. I'll see if we retrace on the other half, but there goes my cushion on the day. So much strength showing up this morning, man. Amazon. This is mostly Amazon, it looks like. Amazon and Palantir. We're basically flat on the day now. I want to see if we can break down, but we kind of broke over that level. I'll go ahead and take a little risk and add to it, but again, Palantir is just ripping up. I'm trying to wait. I think we could get a pullback. That's what I'm trying to wait on, guys, but it's not looking great. There we go. It's better, but still not good, I would say. There we go. I took half off just now just to protect it. We're slightly down, but we're basically flat now, which is better than it could be. Netflix over 1,000. See, it looks better because Palantir's starting to pull back some here, but it doesn't mean it's going to hold. And I'm honestly trading against the momentum right now. We're flat on the day, though. It could be worse. We had a cushion. We took a larger swing. into the cushion, and we'll just wait for the opening bell, I think, if this doesn't work. We do have Jefferson speaking right now, though, so. I'm watching Palantir very closely here at Amazon, because if they start to rip up again, I have to jump out, which is probably right now. I'm just going to cut it. Palantir is right at those highs again. So. Bitcoin cracking 89,000? Is it really? Boeing confirms it's going to sell portions of its digital. Hold on, let me see this. T-Mobile and Metro announced new plans for 5-year price guidance. So we're kind of flat right now, though. All right, so we are ripping up. It looks like my exit there was right. Man, we are just moving here. I want to short it again, too, but I might be getting a little stubborn. But I'll try this level right here. See if we can add to a winning trade if we get down there. There we go. Better. Took half off. And then figure out what we want to do on the rest now. Alright, so we're now green on the day again, which is good. This 150 level held. Top 3 predictors of all time. Yeah, I don't know if Jefferson's speech is really going to move things, though, bro. Like, I'm not really seeing him even, like, quoted here. I'll see if I can find his speech, but... yeah, I don't really see anything. If a hot girl texts you about crypto, block them. Yeah, dude. I've heard about a lot of people that have lost money to scams that way. Like, there's a really good channel called, it's like Catfish or something like that, right? It's about catfish. And, like, what they do is you can tell they, like, pander to people's emotions. They target 2 specific people, right? They target narcissistic people who are so self-inflated in their own mind that they believe that these pretty girls are real, because why wouldn't a pretty girl want to talk to them? You know, that's number one. Then they target incredibly lonely people who are desperate to say they have a girlfriend, right? You know, there was one about a guy who basically they talked him into depositing money into their crypto thing, and then they told him that he had profits of like $100K from like a $25,000 deposit, and then they told him, and he tries to withdraw that money, but he also starts dating his account manager, right? This is one of the narcissistic people. He starts dating his account manager, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, and he keeps bringing up how hot she is, you know, and how like much of a player he is. He's like, ooh, look at me, like, yeah, you know, she's obviously pretty, you know, blah blah blah, and he just eats it up. He just loves it, right? And then they say, oh, you got to pay taxes on this money, you know, you got to send us another 20K to get your 100K, and he's so desperate for the money, he sends that too. That's how they get you, right? That's how they do it. They just end up just catching people. You see this a lot. Yeah, trading Bitcoin's difficult. I'm not trading Bitcoin. Bitcoin, on the other hand, though, getting very close to 90K. Bitcoin getting very close to 90K. And again, we got Tesla earnings today. All right, so Verizon executive says, quote, we will not cover any enormous increase on tariffs on handset that is ultimately going to hit the consumer in the market. All right, guys, we got 20 minutes left. Tesla earnings this afternoon. It's kind of boring right now, man. It really is. There's not a lot going on in markets. We're trying to trade and get some good stuff in, but... So another recession signal. Copper to gold ratio dropped to its lowest level in over 40 years. This ratio has halved over the last 3 years. The decline has accelerated the last month. So... Halliburton sees year-over-year international sales flat to slightly down. So my short ID wasn't bad, but I think I got a little bit too early there. Wait, where's the copper to gold one? All right, guys. So, man. Yeah. So again, I'm looking at a key economic indicator. The copper to gold ratio just plunged to its lowest point in over 4 years. A potential warning sign. It's dropped by half over 3 years, with gold surging plus 9% as copper fell 8% this past month alone. Yeah, not good. All right, so coming down to 125s here again. We got 20 minutes left until the opening bell. Hope you're right. All right, so the levels I have on my charts are holding pretty well. I'm going to keep these up on the chart. This one seemed to hold to 125 worked. 150 was close enough. Look at NVIDIA, though. NVIDIA at 98. So again, I think $100 for NVIDIA is a big spot, a big level. Yeah, I mean, look. I hope you guys are right about the whole thing about it's just a matter of time before markets start to come up. Citigroup chief economist expects growth in the U.S. economy in quarter 2 with consumers buying more ahead of tariffs. Negative impact of tariffs to be felt mainly in the second half of the year. So they don't think that we're going to have any big impact in quarter 1 or 2. And I'm seeing this by a lot of people. They think they don't think it's going to be quarter 2. They think it's going to be second half of the year. Bitcoin getting very close to 90K. Whoa. The 3M CEO says one small divestiture signed and others progressing slowly in view of trade policy uncertainty during the conference call. So, still not looking good, I would say. All right, we're at 133s. Yeah, I mean, of course they want to bring back American manufacturing. And honestly, I don't think that's a horrible idea. Make us less dependent on other countries. I don't think that's a terrible idea. The question is like, when's the opportune time to do it? Bitcoin almost up to 90. Buying when Tesla call it close today. I would be careful playing earnings in any significant way, though. One thing that I learned from earnings, so Bitcoin futures just hit 90K for the first time. So Bitcoin futures did hit 90K for the first time in a minute here. So that's good. Yes, I know you guys can't hear me. I was talking to my wife. Yeah, so sideways action leading into the opening bell. We got 12 minutes until the open. Slower time. Bitcoin futures did hit 90K, though, for the first time, so that's good. That's optimistic. That's a good sign. Yeah, and again, we just don't have much going on in the economy data here. Like, not like normal. I mean, the chat seems fine for most part. Like, I don't think the chat seems too crazy. I mean, yeah, maybe we reverse after the opening bell. I'm not sure. Again, I'm trying to just sit tight and wait for something. Kremlin's, oh, never mind. All right, so we're coming back down to 125. I almost want to buy this level here, but we're also getting kind of close to the opening bell. I'm slightly green on the day, but not much. And we're trying to keep our green streak alive, too. At this point in time, we're on like a 12 or 13-day green streak on Top Step X. We got the tiniest day of green today, like the smallest green day. Honestly, we're mostly short. So we got green today, green yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 days of green. If we green today, it's 14, I think. Actually, today would be 13 if we're green. Look at this fall back down. I'm glad I didn't buy it. We're too close to the opening bell here. You know, and again, I'm kind of bummed. Like, I was thinking about shorting. Remember, I shorted some up here. And we made a little bit, but not a lot. And I should have held. Hindsight's 20/20, though, so. Yeah, volume's light. What's up, Faye? All right, so now we're popping back up here. Again, I don't like this price action at all. I'm not really interested in trading this here. Bitcoin even got rejected at 90K. So Bitcoin broke 90, then came all the way back down here. It's not really a good day to trade, I think, either. I mean, I'm green, but not a lot. Just kind of difficult price action to capitalize on right now. Look at this spike right back up. I'm trying to see if there's a stock that's spiking up, dragging it up here. on it, pawn. Let me see. It would show me the full name. It's hard for me to see. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I don't know. Look at the NASDAQ rip here, though. Look at these push-ups. All right, so the president writes to the U.S. House. Oh. Yeah, bear trap. All right, guys. Hey, we're waiting for the opening bell. We got 5 minutes. All right, look at this rip. We just tapped 150 again, though. Look at this. Looks like we're going to get over it, though. Honestly, who knows? I'm trying to see what stock is ripping up, though. It's Palantir, not AMD, not Google, not Netflix, not Meta, Amazon. Is it Microsoft? Not really. What stock? Nvidia. I guess it's Nvidia and AMD. Yeah, it's Nvidia, I guess. Is it Apple? I don't have Apple on my chart either. Yeah, it's Nvidia and Apple pushing up right now. But look at that 150 level hold. Palantir's also up to 93s. Yeah, I mean, this is a move for sure. Apple and Nvidia moving up. Still battling this 150 level. I mean, Nvidia just went up. It's just not as, I mean, look, here's Nvidia. So Nvidia has been pushing up some. I don't know if it's dragging this up. Apple also spiked up just now over the last 4 or 5 minutes. So that's probably what's dragging. Netflix also pushing up some. Although Amazon's decreasing. But yeah, look at Apple. Bitcoin heading towards 90 again. Oh, Boeing spiked up too. Yeah. But Boeing spiked up 30 minutes ago. 15, 20 minutes ago. Look at this level here, though. Top 3 greatest level of all time. All right, so we're going to get ready to trade the open. Again, we are trading on Top Step's funded account program. If you want to check out Top Step, no PDT and futures. They give you a 50K demo. They test your skill. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, it's $50 for the base one. It's not the end of the world if you lose it. If you pass it, you get a 90% split and a 50K funded account. So it's the best of both worlds. $50 if you lose the base one. 90% split, 50K funded account if you pass it. You also get to keep your first 10K in profit prior to the split kicking in. Futures market, very similar to day trading stocks. It's where most pro day traders trade. And again, we are on a 13-day green streak as of today. We'll see if we can keep it up. Look at Apple spike up here. It's just a great way to learn in a structured environment. And Top Step's paid out $200 million or so, approximately. Fund thousands of traders. Great way to learn structured environment. If you use Top Step X, zero commission. Their new dashboard also processes payouts fast. Again, if you want to check it out, link is pinned to the top of the chat. You can also see the link right here. I don't know what Tesla's going to do. I know if it has volatility, it's going to influence the market. But who knows? All right, guys, we got 2.5 minutes left. 2.5 minutes left. All right, so we did break over this level right before the open. Look at Apple, guys. So Apple at 196s. Apple's rising on a... You know, I'm trying to see if there's any news for Apple here. Hold on. See some Apple's Tim Cook reportedly anxious over this key issue threatening iPhone 7 inventories. He is pushing suppliers every day. See some Wall Street Journal articles and stuff, but nothing that should move Apple like it has been. This is just strength. And look at Nvidia, guys. Nvidia up to almost 99 right now, getting close to 100. This sentiment is making me bullish ahead of the opening bell, just because we're so close to 100 for Nvidia. I think we might have yeah, bullish or bearish at the opening bell, guys. I'm gonna do a poll right now. Are you bullish or bearish for today's opening bell? Vote on the poll. We got the opening bell coming very soon here. Very soon. 25 seconds. Vote on the poll. AMD turned to the downside, though. So AMD just dropped down to $86 a share. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. Netflix pushing at the open. Green. Google green at the opening bell. Apple very green at the opening bell at 197s, but the market is falling down quickly here. Wow. Palantir and Nvidia. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? Look at that candle, guys. Wow. Apple turning. Something just happened here. Weird, because Apple's still green on the day, too. All right, so the IMF says probability of a U.S. recession in 2025 is 40% versus 27% in October. 40% versus 27% in October. That might be what's dragging. Harker does not comment on economic and monetary policy. So Harker didn't comment on economic and monetary policy. Big red candle for Nvidia at the opening bell. Somebody unloaded some size. Apple's still pushing up, though. And look at the market retrace all the way back up here. Apple's still rising to 197s. Netflix is almost up to 1020s. Nvidia's still down, though. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. This is very weird. I kind of want to buy it, but it's too early. We're only 2 minutes into the day. Let things settle down. Look at that bear trap set up here. Yeah. I think that's what this is too. I mean, Meta's coming back down though. So like, honestly, we're just kind of like, we got some stuff moving up big, like Apple, Netflix, Amazon. We got some stuff moving down big, like Palantir, AMD, Meta. So we're kind of right in this Nvidia. You know, we're kind of right in this middle zone where some blue chips are moving up, some blue chips are moving down, and so we have a big range, but we're choppy right now. It's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah, I mean, I'm not risking anything right now. I'm gonna let things settle first. Yeah, I'm gonna let things settle first. I do want to buy this, but Nvidia is getting really close to these lows, which is making me nervous. So I would buy this. Again, we're only 3.5 minutes into the day. Nvidia is getting really close to these lows, making me nervous. So yeah, I'm not going to buy it. And that's, you know, Nvidia just cracked lows, got to 97.50s here. Apple's still kind of pushing up though, but whew, what a weird day, guys. Y'all be careful. I see red, but yeah, I'm not gonna take any positions right now. I'm waiting. I think the thing to do is right now is wait for this some of this to settle. You know, I think settling is what we gotta wait for here. Where's Tesla at? I haven't even looked at Tesla. Bitcoin back over 90K. Again, Tesla's mostly gone up since the open, though. But now it's kind of come back down. So Tesla's middle range. I should probably put Tesla on the screen. All right, we hit that 200 exponential here. I gotta watch Nvidia and Apple pretty closely though. Looks green here, but I'll try to buy this dip. See if we get a pop. I can maybe add to it too, but such a range. I'm gonna buy this again. 2 contracts here. Alright, I took half off. Bad fill though. I'm gonna go to get out the rest there. Just made about 30 on that one. A little bit less than 30. Just very quick. John, I saw you on Top Step TV yesterday. Hey, thanks, Zach. What's up, bro? Yeah, I mean, I was on Top Step TV. Very weird day, though. Very rangy. Yeah, we'll see, honestly, regarding Tesla. Right, so we are getting some green here. If we get a dip, I'll buy it, but we need some green. We'll buy it. We'll take some size now. We got a cushion. And so we can actually buy this dip, see if we get a rebound back up here, but that's not really looking that good. trying to take some larger risk here, but I'm going to take half of this position off just to protect it. I'd rather take half off and then be able to sit in a prettier spot than... And that way, if we get green, we can add to this, and it's not the end of the world. Don't want to add to this here. We'll try to add to it, see if we get a pop right back up. But we got 125. We'll use this as a risk. I'm going to cut this too. It's breaking down too fast. Yeah, so now we're down on the day. We're down like 50 bucks. I'm using a very small risk on this account though. I'm going to actually set this up to where we got 120 lockout restriction on this account for the day. Very small. Let me make sure it's the right account. Okay, yeah, good. I know it's a little sketchy to buy this here. It's a little early, but that's okay. Or it's a little late, but we'll try again. We got some green. We'll add to winners. All right, we took half off there. See if we can add back at 150. Keep heading up. All right, we got two contracts here. Took another half off. Didn't really get a good fill there though. We go ahead and get out there. So we're close to flat again on the day. Working our way back up here. See if we can get a downward push. Gonna add to this. Took half off. Get out there. We are now green again. Oof. Back and forth. But green, but back and forth. Tesla rip it up to 234s. Looks good. Look at the strength showing up. We got Tesla up there. Yeah, a lot of chop. We got Tesla earnings today too, guys. Remember, Tesla earnings. Nvidia's trying to go green too, so Nvidia looks like a bullish system or pattern here as well. But we're kind of extended, so I'm waiting. We've already rode this move up and made money, but last trade we made $70. So We need a pullback if we're going to attack the long side again. All right, look at this rip, man. So market's still going up. I'm watching 215s here. I know it's a risky thing, but I'm going to short if we get close to this 215 level. I'm going to take one here and then add a little bit up there too at the top. See if we retrace back down now. I gotta change the song. Alright, there's the level I wanted to add to. Oh my goodness. What a move. What is going on? Yeah, I'm gonna cut most of this here. I don't know what just happened, but what a surge. Oh, it's better, but now we're kind of flat on the day now. We added to it. We'll try to swing again. We have a very tight risk here, though. Like, we don't have a lot of... Let me see what I'm down, actually, on the day. Okay, so it's really not that much. But this ain't looking good. I'm going to go for it just because if I lose here, I'm going to stop myself out. And... yeah, so I hit my max loss on the day. I only ended up losing $135 though, so it's actually a pretty small day. But that my green streak is effectively over. Like, I locked myself out if we lose too much, because I don't want to give too much back to the market here. I should have maybe waited for this 250 level, but we'll switch and trade our other account. Again, the green streak is over. I set a very small max loss on the day, just because, like, one of my biggest mistakes is that I'll have these really long green streaks, and then I'll be so desperate to keep the green streak, I'll take too much risk. And so then we'll lose, and like, it'll just end up hurting me. And so I'd rather just wait, and we'll switch accounts. So we got another little account that we can trade. And maybe today's just not my day. We're trying to attack the shorts on the upside. But we'll see. But yeah, green streak is over. 13 days is what we made it to, which is good. I'm happy with that. You know, I've had 13 winning days in a row in that account. It's not going to last forever. I can't expect it to. And $120 loss from my first losing day is very manageable. And so I'm just glad I went on the green streak to begin with. Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. I really am. It was a good run, right? I can't really complain. Like, I can't have 13 green days in a row and then complain when I have a losing day. You know what I mean? Like, it's inevitability. It's going to happen eventually. All right, we're going to take half off here. Slowly trying to build this one up, too. We'll add to this now, but I got to take that off, too. All right, so we got a pretty decent little cushion on this trade. We are attacking negative momentum, but we will cut this if it retraces too quick. And which is right now. All right, so we ended up making about $25 or so. Probably could have made some more here. This 250 level is the level I should have targeted the whole time. But it's all good. All right, so Citi's chief economist says they do not believe the president is going to fire Powell. He said this Rubicon will not be crossed. He said if current disputes create damage and show U.S. policies will change drastically with each admin, U.S. potential GDP growth can drop. He said he discussed tariff policy with the president regarding GE, their CEO, Culp. Tesla's still ripping up though. Look at Tesla up here to 236, is almost 240s. Nvidia really struggling to get over 100. All right, so look at that pullback here. All right, so we're really at this 215 level here. I could do it a couple different ways. That was a quick tap of it here, this 215 spot. You know, the question is, does NVIDIA make another push towards 100 today, leading into Tesla earnings? I think it's possible. So we're in this now. We're going to see if we get a quick retracement. If not, we're going to cut it. Yeah, we're going to have to cut it. We got a retracement. Let's see if it holds. Get back up there. Thank you, sir. Oh, no. Just trying. I'm going to cut that there too. Small. If he gets back up there, I might buy it back, to be honest. We got 200 here, 18.2s. Could I buy that up? I could. No, too late on 18.2s. Yeah, for sure. It takes the pressure off. I don't want to. Here, I might buy this little pullback here. It's a bad fill, but I see Tesla rip it up more just now. So look at Tesla up there too. That's the only reason I wanted to buy this. I might add to it too and take a little swing here, but I got to be careful. There we go. There we go. We're gonna take half off there. Oh, what a bad fill. We can hold the rest break even. Maybe add to this too. We got to get over 215s though. We'll try, but. Alright, we took half off, just locked it in. That's why I wanted to lock in on that last one. And now I can kind of hold this one if it breaks down and we can get out flat. Which is about right here. There we go. There we go. All right, I made it a little $30 here. I don't think we have anything at 10 a.m. today. And so we're green on this account too. Probably just gonna go ahead and shut it down, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, or we'll be back later on for Tesla earnings. But I'm not. We'll see what we get later on today. I'll be back later on Tesla earnings, coming live later on today. Y'all be safe. I love you all. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose. If you put up your own thousands of dollars trying to learn and fund your own account, when you're learning day trading, you're almost certain to lose a large chunk of that. That's just how it goes for most day traders. Most day traders lose. Top Step gives you a structured environment. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K on that 50K demo and profit without losing 2K first, following their rules, and you want to confirm all this with them, they fund you 50K, 90% split, and they pay out millions, fund thousands of traders. Learning how to trade under that structured environment makes sense. If you fail, you're out $50. If you pass it, 50K funded account, 90% split, you get to keep your first 10K in profit. It just makes sense. But I'm biased because I get paid by them. Some would say I'm the top 3 most biased of all time ever in the world. If you want to check out the link, I'll put it up in chat right now. Understand all this stuff on screen. Great way to help support the channel. You can see it pinned to the top of the chat. You can also see it right here. And listen, I love you all. You'll have a great day. Be safe in these markets, guys. We are green on one account. Our green streak is over on our main account, though. So our green streak has officially ended. We locked ourselves out after losing about $120 in that account or so. Yeah, so not too shabby. We'll take our 13-day green streak. Not the end of the world. And yeah, y'all be safe. Be good. I love you all. Y'all have a great day. See you guys next time. Tesla earnings later. Stream. Subscribe. We will be back for Tesla earnings later. Good luck.